Hello. As a Christian, I'm a bit upset over something I've just heard, and this has been a point of contention for me, excuse me, over the years, and that is this business to where one has to ask the question, whose authority are we listening to? Is it the authority of God, or is it the authority of a human being? I have issues, and especially at this point in time with stuff going on the way it is, and with the church, or churches, being an increasingly desirable target. We need to be less concerned with building projects and extravagant and expensive ministries. There was a time when we could do this, and there was a lot of things that could be done with it that were good. Now it's not the case. But the thing that really irks me is when I hear that someone is being used and abused by somebody that's supposed to be a pastor, a Christian leader, for a project that they think should be done, that they think should be a priority. They put guilt trips on people, tell them that this is the work of God, and they're being disobedient. And especially when they're doing this at the cost of the person's job and livelihood and family relations. This is a form of abuse. There was years ago I read a book called Churches That Abuse. And this has been an issue in the church community for decades, and it's been around since the beginning of the church. People get into positions of power, and they get an idea in their head. They want to build something, they want to have a special ministry, they want to acquire a piece of land, they want to put a building up or a series of buildings, or they want to have a special camp for youth or whatever, and this becomes a driving force. Now, there are churches that do these things and they do well because they keep their priorities straight. They still feed the hungry, they still clothe the naked, they still help people with bills if they can do so. They keep their priorities straight because they are a spiritual institution that sees to it that these people can meet with God, meet with Christ, which is a process that God initiates and controls. Well, let's just say I see less and less of this, and it's becoming more of what I like to call the Shinar effect, the plane of Shinar, which is where Nimrod led the people that were following him, and they decided to build a tower, which is the Tower of Babylon, that would reach to the heavens, which is probably a euphemism for a form of religious temple, and that it would be something that would give them a name in the earth so that they wouldn't spread throughout the earth. In other words, this was going to be a control device. It was going to be a state religion, and it would give them an identity. This is a huge problem in any human being in any religion. This gets to be an issue over and over again, and Christianity has definitely not been immune to this. As a matter of fact, we've pretty much gone the limit with it. Right now we need to be considering the flexibility and mobility of the church. The churches need to be as much out of debt as they can possibly manage. They need to be as flexible and ready to suddenly move from one thing to another, from one ministry to another. They need to be flexible. They need to be flexible for God to use and not come up with these long, drawn-out things they want to do. This is something that has irked me for a while. I've watched it happen. I've watched people who are doing well helping folks on the street, whenever they could, or helping folks in their everyday life, and they get hijacked by projects. And I've seen this over and over again, church projects, and this is for God, everything's for God. No, it isn't, it's for you. You have usurped the position of God in the name of God, in the name of Christ, in the name of that kingdom, so you can pursue what you want to do. Well, I'm going to get off my soapbox now, but I just want to clarify that there is a difference between man's authority and God's authority, and God wants us flexible and ready for Him to use at any moment, because we just don't know what it's going to be or when. Thank you very much.